All right, let's talk about it. The rainy season is here. And while it's great for cooling things down, it can be an absolute nightmare for your car. Today, we are diving deep into a complete survival guide to make sure you and your ride make it through the storm. Not just surviving, but actually prepared.
So, let me ask you straight up. Is your car really ready for what's coming? We're talking torrential downpours, flash floods, the whole deal. Because trust me, the line between a minor headache and a totally catastrophic repair bill is all about what you do before the storm even rolls in. And look, we're not just pulling this out of thin air. We're breaking down a fantastic, super detailed guide put together by Captain Rajaswar Singh. This is expert-level advice, and it's designed to give you a clear, step-by-step game plan. So, let's get into it.
Here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll hit proactive preparation, all the stuff you can do right now. Then we'll get into crisis management for that worst-case scenario. We'll cover the golden rule, your recovery first steps, and wrap it all up with your final takeaway.
Okay, let's dive into Act 1, proactive preparation. Think of this as building a fortress for your car, setting up its defenses before the first drop of rain even thinks about falling.
First things first, you've got to be able to see and be seen. It sounds so basic, right? But this stuff is non-negotiable. Those old wipers, they don't wipe, they just smear. Get new ones. Top off that washer fluid. And hey, using an anti-fog solution is a great pro move. And then just take 60 seconds, walk around your car, or all your lights working. Headlights, kill lights, the works. Oh, and keeping a few spare fuses in your glove box, that can be a total lifesaver.
Okay, so you can see. Now, can you stop? Grip is everything when the roads are slick. Your tires are your only connection to the asphalt, so make sure that tread depth is at least 2 millimeters and your tire pressure is spot on. And please, remember your brakes. They just don't bite as hard when they're wet, so give yourself way more space than you think you need.
Now let's armor up the car itself. Water and metal are mortal enemies. Getting an anti-rust coat on the underbody can save you so much pain down the road. Check the rubber seals around your doors and windows. See any cracks? A little bit of silicone sealant is a cheap and easy fix. And don't forget the inside. You know that funky damp smell? Yeah, that's mold. Clean out those AC vents to keep it from starting.
You can do everything right. You can prep and plan and check every box. But sometimes the water just rises too fast, and that worst-case scenario becomes your reality. And that brings us to the nightmare scenario. Act 2, crisis management. You look outside and your car is sitting in a pool of water. Your heart sinks. Panic starts to creep in. What on earth do you do right now?
Now, before we get into what you should do, we have to talk about the absolute #1 most critical thing that you should not do. Because I guarantee you, your first instinct could be the very thing that completely destroys your car's engine. Okay, listen up. This is it. The golden rule. If you remember nothing else from our little chat today, please burn this into your brain. Do not start the engine. Do not even turn the key to the on position. This single piece of advice, this one action or inaction, can be the difference between a repair and a total write-off.
So why is this so important? Well, it all comes down to a nasty little word, hydrolock. See, your engine is built to squeeze a mix of air and fuel. Air compresses easily. Water, on the other hand, does not. At all. So if water gets in there and you try to crank the engine, the pistons are going to slam into that water and something's got to give. It's like trying to clap your hands with a brick in between them. It's not going to end well for your engine's internals.
Okay, deep breath. You fought that urge to turn the key. Fantastic. Now let's walk through the actual first critical steps for flood recovery.
First, if you can do it safely, disconnect the battery. That's your best defense against short circuits frying all the sensitive electronics. Second, call for a tow. Do not try to drive it, not even a little bit. A flatbed tow truck is your best friend here. And third, take a mental picture, or a real one, of how high the water got. That watermark is a crucial clue for what happens next.
And here's a really simple way to read that clue. If the water stayed below the bottom of your doors, okay, you might be looking at a major drying out project for the interior. But if that watermark is up on the dashboard, that is serious trouble. We're talking high risk for the engine, the electronics, and the car's computer brain, the ECU.
All right, you've got the car towed to a safe, dry spot. The immediate crisis is over. Now the real road to recovery begins. Let's talk about drying it out and knowing when to call for help.
Assume that every fluid in your car is now contaminated with water. They all need to be drained and replaced. The dead giveaway for the engine oil is if it looks kind of milky, like a bad coffee. That means water's in there. Transmission fluid, fuel, even the brake fluid, it all needs to be checked. And the air filter, if it's even a little damp, it's garbage. Replace it. No question.
Next up is the interior. To really prevent mold, you might need to pull the carpets and even the seats out to let them dry completely. But here's the critical part, the electrical system. You can check the simple stuff like fuses, but for the heavy hitters, the ECU, the starter, all that complex wiring, you need a professional. Seriously, this is not a DIY weekend project.
And before you do anything else, here's a pro tip that could save you a ton of money. If you have flood coverage on your insurance, pull out your phone, take pictures of everything. The water line on the car, where it's parked, any damage you can see. Document it all before you move it. Your insurance agent will thank you.
So, let's bring this all home. What's the final takeaway? Look, the point of all this isn't to make you paranoid about every rain cloud. It's about changing your mindset from feeling like a potential victim of the weather to feeling prepared and in control and empowered.
So I'll leave you with this one last question. A bit of homework, if you will. After everything we just went over, from wipers and tires to that golden rule about never, ever starting a flooded engine, take a second and think about it. What's in your car's emergency kit right now, and what are you going to go add to it this week?